A very good evening to Dr. Azmi and my fellow friends. Today, we from Lab 5 are going to present about the prevalence of physical inactivity among medical students in University Kebangsaan Malaysia Medical Centre and its contributing factors. So, stated here are our research mentors' name and our lab members. For the introduction, the leading causes of worldwide mortality has been shifted from infectious diseases to chronic diseases in which diabetes, cancer, and cardiovascular problems emerge to be the most prevalent, costly, and preventable health problems. One of the associated factors to chronic disease is physical inactivity. And based on the National Health Morbidity Survey Report 2015, the prevalence of physically active Malaysian adult is relatively high, which is 66.5%. Our objectives of study has been divided into general objective and specific objective. For the general objective is to determine the prevalence and factors which contribute to physical inactivity among medical students in UKM Medical Centre. For the specific objective, firstly, to determine prevalence of physical inactivity among medical students in UKM Medical Centre, and secondly, to identify factors contributing to physical inactivity among medical students in UKM Medical Centre. For this study, we have 5 hypotheses. The first one is that majority of UKM Medical Centre medical students are physically inactive. Second, there is significant association between gender and physical inactivity. Third, there is significant association between stage of medical studies and physical inactivity. Fourth, there is significant association between time constraint and laziness with physical inactivity. And lastly, there is significant association between availability of sport facilities and companions with physical inactivity. According to Al-Asawsi, status of physical activity among preclinical students in University of Malaya reported that 76% of students exercise regularly. And according to Ang Yan in 2003, he stated that medical students had low physical activity level where over 50% of second-year medical students reported no significant physical activity.
The first contributing factors is gender. Male medical students were more physically active compared to female medical students, and this was stated by Hightower 1997. Watanabe 2016 stated that medical students in clinical stage were more physically inactive compared to medical students in preclinical stage. Sajwani 2009, El Gilani 2011, Awadala 2014 stated that lack of time and being lazy were the major barrier that caused medical students to be physically inactive. Another contributing factors is availability of sports facilities and companions to exercise. Al-Azawzi 2016 stated that satisfying sports facilities provides motivation for medical students to exercise more frequently. Physical inactivity can lead to alteration of normal physiologic processes leading to muscle atrophy, reduced exercise capacity, insulin resistance, and altered energy balance. Besides, development of metabolic syndromes such as hyperinsulinemia and dyslipidemia can occur due to physical inactivity. Gender and stage of medical study are categorized under socio-demographic factors whereby availability of sports facilities, availability of companion, time constraint, and laziness are categorized under personal and environmental factors which leads to physical inactivity among UKM Medical Center students. The study design used for our research is cross-sectional study using online validated questionnaire, and the sampling method is convenient sampling. The study duration is from October 2017 till December 2017. The study site for our research is University Kebangsaan Malaysia Medical Centre, and the study population is all medical students from year 1 to year 5. Sample size for our research is 105. The study instruments used in our research is Global Physical Activity Questionnaire, occupational physical activity, transport-related physical activity during discretionary or leisure time are the three domains included in our study instruments. So, for the outcome, those who have MET score less than 600 are considered as physically inactive. Otherwise, those who have MET score 600 and above are considered as physically active. And the dependent variable for our research is physical activity status, which is the physically inactive or physically active. The independent variables are the socio-demographic factors and personal and environmental factors. As for the definition, physically active adults aged 18 to 64 years old should do at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity throughout the week, or do at least 75 minutes of vigorous intensity physical activity in a week, or an equivalent combination of moderate and vigorous intensity activity of at least 600 minutes per week. From GPAC questionnaire, the study subjects will be classified as physically active or physically inactive. According to first socio-demographic factor, which is the gender, female are the majority number of samples. For the second socio-demographic factors, Malays are the majorities, and followed by Chinese, Indians, and others. For the stage of medical studies, preclinical students are the majority. According to MET score in our research, 26.7% of medical students in UKMMC are physically inactive.
After performing the Pearson's chi-square, the independent variables such as gender, ethnic, stage of medical studies, availability of sports facilities, adequacy of sports facilities, and duration of study has p-value larger than 0.05. So, the null hypothesis is not rejected. Thus, there is no significant difference between the variable and being physically inactive. Next, the independent variable, such as laziness to exercise, has p-value less than 0.05. So, the null hypothesis is rejected. Thus, there is significant difference between laziness to exercise and being physically inactive. After performing the student t-test, the independent variables such as gender, ethnic, availability of sports facilities, adequacy of sports facilities has p-value larger than 0.05. So the null hypothesis is not rejected. Thus, there is no significant difference between the variable and being physically inactive. Next, the independent variable such as stage of medical studies and laziness to exercise has p-value smaller than 0.05. So the null hypothesis is rejected. Thus, there is significant difference between the variable and being physically inactive. As for conclusion of analysis, 26.7% of medical students in UK Medical Centre has total metabolic equivalent of task score less than 600, which means they are physically inactive. Feeling of lazy to do exercise is statistically significant between physically inactive, which is MET less than 600, and physically active group, which is MET 600 and above. Null hypothesis is rejected because p-value is significant, which is less than 0.05. So those who are lazy are more physically inactive. The mean of total MET score is statistically different between preclinical and clinical stage. The null hypothesis is rejected because p-value is significant, which is less than 0.05. The clinical stage medical students have higher total MET score. The mean of total MET score is statistically different between students with self-reported feeling lazy to exercise and those who feeling not lazy to exercise. Null hypothesis is rejected because p-value is significant, which is less than 0.05. Those feeling not lazy to exercise have higher total MET score, and other factors are not statistically significant. And these are the references that we use to conduct our research. Thank you.